Why has the cost of living crisis caused an issue for students? I'm your host Teague Smith, and welcome back to the channel. Now, as many of you might not know, the word Teague stands for poet/philosopher, and I'm not gonna lie, I think right now I'm looking quite the part. But today, instead of looking like someone that you could sit down with and have a conversation with about your problems for a reasonable price, today we're going to be talking about some real problems which are going on in the world. So let's take a drink of our witted English fruits iced tea and continue. It's good stuff. So what's going on? Let's talk about it. For those that don't know, in the UK at the current moment, we've got a crisis going on. It's quite a big one, actually. It's no joke. And that is the cost of living crisis. And this is affecting so many things. It's affecting rent for houses, it's affecting food bills with inflation, fuel for cars, electricity, gas, water bills even. Everything has gone up and it's becoming a massive problem in the UK, and it's only going to get worse as winter comes. So what's going on, and why am I focusing on students in particular? It's for no reason. A certain event sort of sparked me wanting to make a video on this, but I thought we'd jump back into being a bit more political Teague than usual. So obviously, it's not only students that this problem is affecting, it's affecting many people. It's not just people like myself. And it's becoming a very big problem. So to kind of discuss what's going on, when it comes up to winter, a lot of people are going to struggle to, well, essentially survive, because they're not going to have the heat on from the heating or anything really, because it's going to be too much. It's going to cost too much. People are falling out of employment rapidly, and obviously we're having a lot of problems in terms of wages as well. Minimum wage is actually becoming not really livable off, and it's a shame really that a lot of people are having to nearly suffer from hypothermia. I mean, especially this is going to affect older people, in their sort of 70s, 80s, etc. a lot more than us young people, which actually could store body fat, etc. And are strong. But it's becoming a big issue, and for students, it's becoming an even bigger one. Now, when I refer to students, I mean them as a whole. I mean them as both primary, secondary, or high school, whatever you want to call it, students. I also refer to college and university students as well. Now, I know in America, your college is our university and whatever, but I'm talking about the UK at the moment, as that's where sort of the main problem really is. So, as a college student at the current moment, I'm going to sort of voice my opinion on what's going on, really. A bit of an issue has risen, which has kind of addressed this. I'm not going to go into detail. Some people know it, some people don't. But pretty much money is the main factor. Everything's to do with money. We live in a, I'm going to say the word capitalist society, and here we are. We're all suffering from sort of consequences of inflation, unfortunately, which it's bound to happen, and obviously, hopefully, at some point it will come back down again. But it's all because of obviously numerous external factors like the war with Ukraine and fuel and everything and other stuff as well. People panic buying, etc. But for students, the main thing when it comes to money is transport. Transport and food. Them two are the biggest factors. Because let me tell you something. If you're a student like me, okay, if you're a student like me and you have to pay, okay, to get to the college, and then you also have to pay for food whilst you're there, with prices going up. A bus fare now for a return ticket is £4.50. Okay, that's £4.50. Now, say for example, if you were a student going in for, let's say, 4 days a week, that's £18. See where the problem's becoming a thing. And Of course, in the UK, in some areas you can buy a bus pass for around £18. Say, for example, for my buses, it's £18. But that's the problem. Having to spend £20 alone on transport a week, that's insane. And some people only work part-time jobs, and when I say part-time, I mean maybe 1 or maybe 2 days a week for a couple of hours. And I'm not gonna lie, with minimum wage pay, you know, you're hardly not really gonna make, you know, you're not gonna really make enough to pay for transport. Now, and other factors. Now, you're probably wondering, well, if it's 20 on whatever, and say you make £9 in 4 hours, etc., that's £36, so of course you can pay. But there's for food. You've got a food problem now. What are you going to pay for food? Because, say for example, at my college or other areas, to get like a decent sort of meal for that day, it's around £4. You might get a sandwich, a drink and some snacks, but it's coming up to £4, and it's getting higher. It's getting significantly higher, and so now it's getting to a point where you're having to spend nearly £10 a day just on sort of the necessities to get from your educational institution. And that goes from obviously transport and food. £10. Multiply that by 3 days, that's £30. 4, 40, 5, 50. That's nearly £50 for an entire week, for 5 days of studying, if students do that. Now granted, there are sometimes obviously items in place to help students sort of deal with the funding problem. I know that some colleges do bursary, etc., and obviously they might pay you a certain amount, or they might give you free transport, bus passes, etc., but that only covers a certain amount. And you want to know who's in control of the bursaries? The government. That's right. We're going against the government here. I'm not. Don't worry. I'm just voicing my opinions. I'm not. Anyway, about that. But nonetheless, it's getting to a point where it's somewhat becoming more feasible to drop out of college and to work nearly full time to get enough money to raise enough money to be able to survive for winter. You know, the fact that dropping out of college for some students is becoming feasible now because of the cost of living is insane. Yes, many people are going to argue and say knowledge doesn't have a price. It's invaluable or whatever, but it's costing more money to go to a school or to an educational institution than it is to actually live on a daily basis. And I think when it starts getting to that point, you know, it's kind of bad. And so I kind of just want to bring that up. Obviously that's my perspective from going to college, but I know for students who go to schools, they might get free school meals, but even then, the transport and everything, unless they're walking, then, you know, the parents have to drop them off, or, you know, either they have to get the bus as well. So even then, it's a big money factor. Now, and obviously, you've got the whole thing with having to work more hours at a job to try and get more money to pay for your education, but then you can't focus on your education as much as, because your time's been taken up by this job. So it's an endless loophole, and it's a really, really big issue that I think is growing. And I don't know if many people are voicing their opinion on it or not. I'm just kind of just talking from a college student, which I kind of look like one at the moment anyway. But yeah, no, I just want to give my opinion, and I'd really like to know your thoughts and opinions on this as well, no matter if you're in college, school, university, etc. I'd really like to know and kind of get some feedback on this and sort of get everyone's opinions, because if this situation sort of gets worse, I'm probably going to be making more videos on this and kind of talking about it more. But that, as I've mentioned, is all I really have to say today, and I honestly hope it can get better and changes in the future. Nonetheless, I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you all in the next one.